Warning, this podcast contains themes of extreme violence and murder. Subject matter may be offensive to some listeners. Discretion advised.
Welcome to another episode of Evil Transgression, your homicide headquarters here in podcasting. I'm Josh, and with me as always, Dustin and Rex.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
New Year.
New Year, new us.
That's right.
New Year,
Same old,
same us.
Same us.
We ain't changing.
Same
No.
us.
Man, feels great to be in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we can leave the disaster that was 2020 behind us.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Isn't it crazy when we all decided to start a podcast in 2020, we never knew what was going to happen a month into it.
Right.
Yeah, we started February
Yeah.
of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And they shut everything down like the next month.
Yep.
It's wild.
Yet, I mean, we still got 2 months to go. In the 10 months of 2020 that we had our podcast, we eclipsed 100,000 downloads.
We did.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is 10000.
Yeah.
Zero.
I thought that would take us.
You almost forgot one there.
I thought that would take us a long time to get there.
I mean, 10 months.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Impressive.
We're like rookies in podcasting. We're
Yeah.
brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but it still feels good.
it does.
It does, yeah.
I'm not going to lie. We hit 100,000 and I got a little swag to my walk
Did you
for a day or two.
throw on some rollerblades and go down 670, only wearing a panda mask?
In the buff. I threw on some aviators and pretended like I was famous. Walked into a couple restaurants like, hey, I'd like to have a seat. They're like, well, what's your name? We'll put it on the list. Like, you don't know who I am?
They were like, no, go sit down, fat boy.
And I was like, well, let me just explain to you who I am. Welcome to another. They're like, still, sit down, fatty.
Oh, man.
What you got for us today, buddy?
I have a gentleman by the name of Albert Brown.
Ooh. Doesn't sound like a very scary name.
It doesn't. But he is a pretty scary dude. And we will get into it right now as long as everybody is ready to rock.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
We're ready.
Well, buckle up, Evil Mob, as we discuss Albert Greenwood Brown. Albert Greenwood Brown was born in Tulare, California on August 18th, 1954. Brown's family was strict and pushed for each child to do well in school so they could go on to attend college and be successful. Before he could graduate from Tulare Western High School in 1972, Albert Brown would screw that up. How, you ask? Well, Albert brought a gun to school, and while showing it off, it accidentally discharged and grazed another student in the head.
Ooh.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
How lucky does the one student have to be, though? Just get grazed by a bullet in the head.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure that'd scare the shit out you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So without school and college to rely on like his family had insisted, Albert Brown joined the United States Marine Corps. He would serve in the Marines until 1975 when he was court-martialed and discharged for going AWOL. That is absent without leave, in case you were wondering.
Thanks.
Oh,
Captain
thank you.
Obvious.
Well, maybe there's not a lot of military families listening.
Okay.
Yeah, Dustin. Not everybody's dad was in the military.
After being discharged, Albert moved to Riverside, California to live with his mother, who was by this time divorced from his father. Trouble would find Albert Brown in Riverside. Albert Brown was soon charged with brutally raping and impregnating an 11-year-old girl.
Wow.
That's disgusting.
The victim claimed that Brown told her since he was a black man and she was a black girl, she was, quote, in need of a feeding.
Wow.
The girl was forced to perform oral sex, and Brown then violently raped and choked her and finally sodomized her. He pleaded guilty to the charges and was sentenced to 2 years of probation.
That's it.
What?
California, folks.
Yeah, California, you're right.
Yeah, don't get me started.
2 years probation for brutally raping and impregnating an 11-year-old girl.
Sick.
Maybe this is why there was so many, serial killers back in the day. Because they didn't punish anybody for anything they did.
Yeah, Callie was like, man, just some probation. You'll be fine.
You know what you need? Probation, sir. 2 years of it.
Yeah.
So now he's got to straighten up and act right because he's on probation, right? No. On an early morning in 1976, Albert Brown decides to break into a home in Riverside and hide in a closet until all of the residents have left. So he breaks in while people's home and hides in a closet and waits for everybody to leave. When a 14-year-old girl returned home from doing her paper route and to get ready to go to school, Albert Brown attacked her. He choked her unconscious and brutally raped her in her mother's room. Brown pleaded guilty to the charges of first degree with force on May 4th, 1978, and was sentenced to state prison. You done did it now, Albert Brown. You're going away for a long time, right?
He should have got that the first time.
Oh, I forgot we're still in California.
Oh,
so
my bad.
He got 3 weeks.
He was paroled on June 14th, 1980, just 2 years after being sent to prison, and found work detailing new cars at Rubidoux Motors in Riverside, California. So Albert Brown has raped 2 young girls and has gotten 2 years probation and 2 years in prison total. But he's got him a steady job now. Right?
Automotive enhancement specialist.
Yeah. On October 28th, 1980, Albert Brown posed as a jogger and snatched himself a 15-year-old girl named Susan Louise Jordan. Susan was on her way to school at Arlington High School that morning before Albert Brown dragged her to an orange grove where he raped and strangled her to death.
Jeez.
And for some reason, Brown takes the girl's identification cards and school books and flees. Odd coincidence here, Susan Jordan's mother, Angelina Jordan, had actually left her car to be serviced at Rubidoux Motors.
Oh, really?
Where he worked. When Angelina realizes that Susan didn't come home with her younger sister, Karen, and her younger brother, James, she begins to worry. Angelina goes to the school in search of Susan, but doesn't find her. Susan's parents then contacted the police. Around 7:30 that evening, the phone rings in the Jordan household and Angelina Jordan hurries to answer it. A man on the other line says, quote, "Hello, Miss Jordan. Susie isn't home from school yet, is she?" When Angelina replied that she wasn't, the man said, quote, "You will never see your daughter again. You can find her body on the corner of Victoria and Gibson."
Wow.
What?
Angelina Jordan, in disbelief, asked the man to repeat what he said, and he did, and then hung up the phone. So, the man who we know as Albert Brown is then going to call the Riverside Police Department and told them, quote, "On the corner of Gibson and Victoria, 5th row, you will find a white Caucasian body of a young girl in the orange grove." This guy's telling them where she's at.
Yeah, right.
It's like he's taunting them.
Police hurried to the corner of Gibson and Victoria with a police dog, but found nothing. Another officer went to the Jordan residence to pick up some of Susan's clothes to be used by the dog as a scent guide. The officer arrived at the Jordan residence around 8:30 p.m., just in time for the Jordan's phone to ring again. This time, the officer answered it. Albert Brown, who was still unidentified at this time, said, quote, "You can find Sue's identification in a telephone booth at the Texaco station at Arlington and Indiana." Brown then hung up. The officer then hurried back to the supposed crime scene with an article of Susan's clothes, which led the dog to find a pair of torn panties in the grove. From there, the dog led them down a few more rows of orange trees to Susan's body. The young girl was face down with dirt piled up on both sides of her head. She was nude from the waist down except for the socks on her feet. A few of her school notebooks and Susan's tennis shoes were found nearby. The laces from one of those shoes was wrapped tightly around her neck and used to strangle her to death. She had been raped. Signs of a struggle and indications that the body had been dragged for some distance was found by homicide investigators. The same night, officers found the identification cards in the payphone booth at the Texaco station like the unknown caller had said they would. At 9:30 p.m., the phone rings again at the Jordans' house. This time, the phone call was recorded, and the same voice, that of Albert Brown, said, quote, "In the 10th row, you'll find the body." He was unaware that they already had. But I mean, this guy that's 4 phone calls.
Yeah, well, he's crazy.
You made one, you made the first one to the Jordan family, second one to the police, another one to the Jordan family, and then this one to the Jordan family.
It's like he's taunting them.
Yeah,
Just to
I mean,
mess with
right.
them. I mean,
Yep.
which
It's like he's proud of what he's done. Like,
Yeah.
go get her. Yeah, there she is.
Psycho.
Now, what to me, what is the point of taking the ID cards and putting them in a telephone booth for them to find at a gas station?
I mean, maybe
Yeah,
he took
I don't get that.
maybe he took the ID cards to know what her name was. Maybe he didn't know what
He
her
did.
name was.
He did. He did take it to know her name. But I mean, you just killed her. You should remember her name.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you found the ID cards, you would look at them and be like, all right, and lay them back down. I mean, I've never killed anybody, but I'm not taking stuff that you can pin on me.
Uh-huh.
I probably just got myself to prison time. The following morning, police had roadblocks set on the streets near the Orange Grove and questioned people who passed by. Several people claimed to have seen Susan the previous morning walking on a bike trail through the Orange Grove. Several of those people claimed to have seen a black man approaching Susan on a bike trail. The man was wearing green running shorts and a green and white shirt, according to those witnesses. Witnesses also claimed seeing a brown or copper-colored Pontiac Trans Am parked nearby. On the car was a distinctive paper license plate. This car was traced back to none other than Albert Brown. Police set up surveillance of Brown's home, and on November 6th, Albert Brown was arrested when he pulled up in the brown Pontiac Trans Am that witnesses had described. While executing a search warrant on Brown's home, police found the crumpled up paper license plate witnesses recalled seeing. Also found was a telephone book that was turned to the page where the Jordan's phone number was listed.
Busted.
Under Albert's bed, officers found newspaper articles about the death of Susan Jordan and 2 of her missing school books. So he did take the evidence to his house like an idiot.
Yes.
It's a lot of killers do that. Like, it's like a trophy, you know,
Yeah.
for them. It's weird shit, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. But Albert Brown is the reason why I don't jog.
You don't want to get abducted.
Exactly. That's why I don't jog.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the only reason.
That was,
What?
I'm going to use that too.
So, thanks, Albert.
Thanks, Albert, for us being out of shape and overweight. After searching the house, investigators went to Robidoux Auto and searched Brown's locker there. This is where the police find the green running shorts and the green and white shirt witnesses described. The clothing was stained with blood and semen. Beneath them were a pair of underwear also with the same stains. Also in the locker were a pair of running shoes that matched the shoe prints left at the crime scene.
This dude is a terrible criminal.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you going to take it to where you work?
Because
Yeah.
you're not very smart.
Right.
God.
With a mountain of evidence, Albert Brown was convicted on February 4th, 1982, by a jury of his peers of first-degree murder with the special circumstance of rape.
Does that carry the death penalty?
Let's find out. We're in California.
Oh, even if it does, they don't
Yeah.
use it.
During the sentencing phase of the trial, Brown's defense team argued that Albert Brown was remorseful and had psychiatric issues, including sexual dysfunction. Albert Brown claimed that he had been physically abused by his aunt as a young child and spanked by his mother. And that's what gives him the right to rape and
give me a
murder
break.
Who didn't get
adolescents.
spanked
What
when
an
they were
idiot.
little?
Apparently, you were not spanked enough, son.
Right.
Yeah.
You know who got spanked? Who was the gentleman that we did where the guy they tied him to the barn door, beat the crap out of him with a horse whip?
That's the one you guys did without me.
That's Sam Green.
Yeah.
Samuel Green got whipped.
Yep.
You didn't get spanked, Albert Brown. Brown's mother denied abusing him, but claimed that her son was out buying milk when the murder was committed. He didn't kill her, he was getting some 2%. The 14-year-old girl from his 1976 rape case sealed the deal when she testified against Albert, though.
Good.
On February 19th, 1982, in less than 3 hours of deliberation by the jury, Albert Brown was sentenced to death.
Good.
On March 2nd, 1982, Albert Brown was put on death row at San Quentin State Prison in San Quentin, California. 3 years later, the California Supreme Court overturned Brown's sentence, but the U.S. Supreme Court would reinstate it again in 1987. Now, over the years, Albert Brown's execution would be battled over in court. In California, the death penalty was halted, then put back into effect in 2010. Albert Brown was even read his death warrant and got to order a final meal before his execution was delayed again over a legal battle about the drugs used in lethal injection.
Unbelievable.
I mean, this
Why
guy
is this even debatable? He raped and murdered
right, yeah.
a child. Why are we even debating?
This guy
That's
made
Cali.
it to the day before his execution. I mean, before they were like, we can't do this. The only problem they had was the battle over the drugs used to humanely kill murderers. And that's the issue.
That's stupid.
This drug is not the right stuff.
Well, you've seen what the governor of Ohio did with executions, right?
Let us know.
Yeah.
He
tell us.
stopped all executions, and they're not allowed to execute anybody until they come up with a new way to do it. Lethal injections off the
I
table.
did hear
I've got
about that.
I've
You
got
gotta have a new one.
I've got some ways.
I got some ways too, but they don't want to hear me.
I got some good ideas. Like,
Oh, yeah? What's one of them?
let's put dynamite up their butt.
Ooh. Yeah, that'd be explosive.
Hey, I like what you did there.
Well, what do you think?
It would work.
Of
Yeah.
course it would work.
It'd definitely work.
Dynamite up the pooper. Boom. Susan Jordan's sister Karen criticized the distress to her family caused by the delays. Quote, "The appeals process in California has proven to be nothing more than a never-ending war of attrition against justice and the rights of victims and their families." In October of 2010, the Terminator, Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, halted his execution yet again.
What?
The legal battles of death sentences in California raged on for 9 more years until 2019 when your guy, Governor Gavin Newsom, placed a moratorium on executions in the state of California.
Of course he did.
Then that your guy was not directed at any of us.
I pointed straight at you.
That is not my guy.
Governor Gavin Newsom.
Gavin DeGraw. It's the only Gavin worth seeing.
Gavin DeGraw. I think you said that the last time we brought up Gavin Newsom.
He
as
probably
well.
did, yeah.
So Albert Greenwood Brown sits to this day in San Quentin Prison.
Let that sink into your mind. He raped and murdered a child in the 80s, and he's still on
Yep.
death row.
But he's raped 3 young girls.
Right.
He just killed one
He
of them.
killed
Right.
one.
But you've raped
Yeah.
at least 3 of them. I mean, maybe there's some out there we don't know of.
Oh, yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
But yeah, since the 80s.
Since the 80s.
I don't get it.
Crazy.
Either.
He's in San Quentin, though.
Him and Scott Peterson
Yep,
kicking it. No, Scott Peterson's not on death row anymore. They took him off.
that's right.
Took him off.
That's right.
Yeah.
California, you're just doing amazing things out there. The land of opportunity.
Yeah, it's
Hey.
amazing.
We love our listeners in California because
Yeah.
we have a lot of you.
Yeah.
We do.
A lot.
I think that's why they listen and like our shows, because they realize they're run by idiots. And they're like, well, you know, we've got so many idiots in our state, we might as well listen to these idiots.
So earlier in the episode, you talked about your new way of executions. Rex, what do you got? What would be something cool you'd like to see how it go down?
Throwing me on the spot.
If they do away with lethal injection, what's something you think would be cool?
Like, to me, that was the most humane way to do things.
It was.
So I don't know what they're expecting to come up with.
Here's my question, though, on the lethal injection debate.
Mm-hmm.
Are we worried about how we feel about it or how they feel about it? Like the people that we're executing?
Worried about the backlash they're going to get.
From who?
From the...
I mean, I know there's people out there like, nah, you can't do it. It's inhumane.
There is people that are against it.
That's the same people that, you know, now think, oh, if somebody comes up to rob you, just run away or give it to them.
Right.
You know, don't defend yourself. Idiots.
But I mean, am I worried about Albert Brown getting lethal injection because I don't want him to hurt? Is that what makes me feel better at night?
It has nothing to do with the person that's getting it done.
It clearly does.
No,
that's the whole point of
it. Has to
it's
do.
Inhumane. It's inhumane because they feel it. They're gonna hurt.
Yes, it's inhumane, but it's inhumane to
cut his
people.
dong off. That's what you got to
Right.
cut his dong off. Let him bleed out there and be like, "Hey, guess you shouldn't have raped a child."
Right. But it's how everybody else feels. They don't care about how he feels. They care about how it's gonna look to everybody else.
That's the thing. They care about how other people care about how he feels.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I don't care.
Exactly.
Oh, it hurt. Well, hey.
Well, he shouldn't have done the crime.
I mean, sorry, dude. You raped a child and killed her. You raped 3 children and killed 1 child.
You know what? Then just take a pistol, shoot them once in the head, and they're done.
Yeah. No pain. Pow. Lights out.
Boom.
Hey.
Bang, bang.
Ronnie Lee Gardner.
Down.
I don't know. What do you got? How are you going to kill him?
I don't know, because I feel different ways towards different people. Like pedophiles, child killers, you know, stuff like that. Like, I think it should be that day. If they got enough proof, they take you out that day.
Yeah.
You got to have concrete proof, though. I mean,
okay, you can't have no more proof than this guy had.
But we've had debates before about, you know, do we prefer the death penalty over life sentences? And what if these people are rehabilitated? Now, the last episode we covered, the guy was a born-again Christian by the time he was executed.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. You know the consequences of doing the things that you're doing.
Right.
Yep.
You can't. This guy, they're like, well, he was a sick man. He had sexual deviances. Oh, I mean, guess who I blame? California. You.
Yeah.
He did it twice, and you gave him 2 slaps on the wrist.
Yep.
That's right.
But then he goes out and does it again. So guess what, California? You shouldn't have a say. It should be up to the family.
Right.
What do you want done with him?
Uh-huh.
Do you want to tie his legs to a semi and his arms to another semi? Just
I'd pay to see that.
flag him down like old school?
Oh, he's a sex offender, so you know what that means. He's done anyways. You can't fix that. You cannot fix a sex offender. Doesn't work.
That's a strong statement.
Mm-hmm.
It does not work. I don't know.
That is a strong statement by Dustin, folks.
You can't. Okay, let me rephrase that.
Nope.
I've said it 100 times.
You said it. You said it before on the show.
You can't rehabilitate a sex offender, or you can't rehabilitate a pedophile for one. Not at all.
Not at all.
Not even a sex offender. That's something with their chemical imbalance that's all messed up.
Yeah,
So what's your suggestion here?
What?
That's what I'm saying. What needs done to Albert Brown?
Execute him.
How? If they don't want to do lethal injection,
Bring back the chair.
then you'll have people going, that is way.
Yeah.
I don't have any other humane way, because like Rex said, this is the most humane way you can think
Right.
of. There's no other way to do it.
I think there is.
What, do you drown them?
Nope. I say you put them out in a field in like the desert. Or in California, you can find a desert.
Yeah.
You put them out there, and you shoot them in the chest with a rocket launcher.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, do studies on that, California. How about that? Well, I wonder if it hurt him. Guess what? We can't ask him. Because his arm's over there, his leg's over there. We don't know where the torso went.
Well, okay, enough of this shenanigans.
Yeah.
I enjoyed your story, though.
Thank
It
you.
was good.
That was the story of Albert Brown, folks. What do you got, Rex?
Just our usual. Find us on Facebook. Give us a like. If you have any ideas, you can email us at eviltransgression@gmail.com. Also, check out our Instagram. We just recently started that. So,
We're also on Twitter.
yes, Twitter.
Twitters and twatters and, that's old Jim Tressel.
Oh,
You guys remember that?
yeah,
I do.
Yep.
We got-
You can join our Patreon. And if you join now, you will be our first patrons of 2021. Imagine.
Imagine
That would be awesome.
So just go to patreon.com/eviltransgression, or you can join our Patron
It's a tongue
on
twister.
Patron.
our Patron on Podbean, or you can just go to any of our episodes in the link description and it'll be in there.
Yes.
Click the thing that says "Our Links." It's not hidden.
Right.
It's right there.
Yeah.
It's not. You don't have to search.
Yeah. You can't miss it.
Say "Pow." Our links. Click.
Pow, pow, click.
Pow.
Boom.
Boom. Pow. That's how that rocket launcher is going to sound. So everybody's good.
We're
Yep,
good.
I'm good.
Go to our store and buy a shirt,
Oh, that too. Yeah.
and then send us a picture of you wearing our shirt.
Good stuff.
Maybe that'll be the next giveaway. Ooh, do I see our first giveaway of 2021 coming up?
I think so.
I teased it a little bit on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
So
Hey,
is that going to
also,
be it?
I did see that. Also,
I think. But hold on. To touch on that, I think we should do an amazing giveaway this time. Like we should come up with a prize. Like, whoa.
Mm-hmm. Let's meditate on that.
But I think it should be something like, you got to have an Evil Transgression T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Take your picture, post it to your page, or maybe as a profile picture,
or just send it to us.
or that. Yeah. If you want to take the lazy way out.
And if you join our Patreon in the month of January, you will get a picture of Rex in a nightgown, an Evil Transgression nightgown. So
Hey, we need to make a bathrobe.
I would. I think
Do it.
that would be awesome.
And then we can just record in bathrooms. Nothing. Bathrobes and socks.
Socks are mandatory.
Yeah. We show up to record and I'm like, I'm going to go get undressed.
Socks are mandatory. Underwear is not. Underwear is optional.
Oh, man.
Enough tomfoolery.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right, Evil Mob. Thanks for joining us. And until next time,
See ya.
See ya.
peace.